Trade winds military exercise to end on Friday. Drunk driver injures 4 people in quarantine. And Harman backtracks on vaccine. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. If you've noticed Black Hawk helicopters flying overhead and Sarah Lynch busting caps at a gun range, don't be alarmed, we're not being invaded by the Trumpistanis. Besides, they did that years ago! Aha! These activities, and many more, are a part of the 2021 Exercise Trade Winds, a U.S. Southern Command-sponsored multinational Caribbean security exercise bringing together armed forces from 17 countries across the Caribbean, Europe, North and South America. This military exercise will conclude on June 25th, and it is expected that by then a framework guiding how multinational operations would be established. So, if Venezuela does go completely belly up, at least they'll know how to activate their Plan B. A large group of quarantined river fishermen complained to the Agriculture Ministry on Saturday that the Surinamese authorities are constantly harassing them. The Number 66 Fishermen's Co-op Society explained that the Surinamese government used to directly give them a license for fishing for about $25 US to fish along the quarantine river. But now they can only obtain them from Surinamese middlemen who are jacking up the price to as high as $800 each. They also complained of being extorted by certain Surinamese river patrols because corrupt police is an international problem, obviously. The agriculture minister basically told the fishermen that he will see how best to rectify the situation through the normal diplomatic channels. The police have arrested a 21-year-old man in Berbice for allegedly kidnapping a 17-year-old girl after they got into a fight over her refusal to delete her Facebook account. The cops said the little pervert was supposedly dating the girl for over a year before the argument occurred last Thursday. During the argument, he broke her phone before dragging her out of her home at knife point. He then stripped her naked and locked her in his home against her will. She was able to break out of the house the next morning and reported the matter to the cops. In an example of the harm drunk driving can cause, on Saturday night, 4 persons were injured in a drunken hit-and-run accident on the Port Morant public road in quarantine. According to police, taxi driver Mahendra Mangal was driving with 1 passenger in his car when he failed to overtake a minibus, as that minibus was already in the process of overtaking a truck parked at the side of the road. Well, the taxi driver hit the bus, which in turn hit the truck, which then hit a nearby pedestrian. As a result of the impact, everybody was injured. Everybody involved was injured. However, the pedestrian, the taxi passenger, the driver of the minibus, and the truck driver had to be hospitalized because of their injuries. The driver of the hire car fled the scene, but was found and arrested hours later and is still in custody. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this Nissan Juke. It comes with marked rims, new tires, DVD stereo, reverse camera, rear spoiler, and much more. Buy cash for $2.9 million. All paid down as low as $580,000 with around $66,000 monthly for 4 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet, sweet deal. 2 persons are feared drowned after a boat capsized while crossing the Takatu River. The police are currently looking for 38-year-old businesswoman Waletta Rigby of Blueberry Hill, Linden, and an unknown Brazilian boat captain. According to the accident sole survivor, 48-year-old Charnette Gonzalez, she and Rigby were returning from shopping in Bonfim in Brazil on Friday night when the boat capsized, sweeping them downriver. However, she was able to grab hold onto a tree branch and was rescued the following morning, while the other 2 were swept out. On Sunday morning, a 29-year-old security guard was quickly disarmed by a bicycle bandit while he was standing on the Pleasant public road. The victim is a shift commander with the security company and was on active duty along with the driver of the security vehicle when they stopped to check the vehicle's tires. According to the police report, when the security guard bent over to check the tires, that's when he felt a hand go right into his pocket and off with his pistol. The victim and the driver immediately gave chase, but the suspect escaped. Unfortunately, that embarrassing mistake has gotten the victim and the colleague arrested. Life hack: always invest in a proper gun holster. A birthday celebration in Kitty, Georgetown ended in bloodshed on Saturday. 23-year-old K-Wall Dinban was fatally stabbed during a fight between him and another male. The 21-year-old suspect claimed self-defense, stating that Dinban and his friends were the true aggressors, and that he only stabbed the man after they cornered him and hit him with a piece of wood. Allegedly, Dinban was taken to the hospital where he died the following afternoon, while the suspect, Dinban's two friends, and another male were arrested. Do you want to grow your money? Sell Digicel Top-Up. Become a top-up vendor through Cellular Plus and make some extra cash to supplement your income at your business or your side hustle. Call 685-3109 for more info. It's now time for today's Run Report. Today, the nation recorded 48 new cases. There are now 449 persons dead, 18 persons in the ICU, 1,396 persons in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 19,144. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. The police in the Rupununi recently detained 2 suspected cow rustlers after they stole a rancher's cow and slaughtered it last week in Achiwib village, South Rupununi. According to the police, they contacted one of the suspects who claimed that it was 2 other individuals who slaughtered the cow and shipped the carcass to Letum. The 2 suspects are currently in custody while the police are still looking for a 3rd suspect. So you just booked a flight from New York to Guyana. The flight costs roughly $300 US. With a total of just 22 kilos, your flight cost is taken care of. And as for you shippers, stop wasting half your day online just to be overcharged for multiple day shipping that may or may not get there on time. Go to ferryshareglobal.com and become a member today. Last night, 2 armed men carjacked a minibus driver on the Soosdijk-Linden Highway. According to the driver, he stopped at the side of the road because his vehicle was overheating. Minutes later, a dark-colored car allegedly pulled up and out came the bandits. They stole his money and the vehicle and then abandoned the man at the dark, lonely roadside. And now for our stupid news of the day. After accusing the government of having purchased a set of fake Russian-made vaccines, this weekend someone finally decided to talk some sense into loudmouth Harmon and make him change his stance on the vaccines. He now believes that it could be reasonably presumed to be authentic after he received a letter from Frank Anthony which detailed all the things he was seeking answers for, apparently, or at least according to him. While he is now back to encouraging people to take the shot, the damage is already done. So if an APNU supporter dies because they listened to him, I consider their blood to be on his hands, and despite this, he won't face any punishment. Now, don't get me wrong, we should always question everything the government does. In fact, being a good opposition leader is all about listening to the people and asking the government the right questions. But it's very disingenuous for Harmon to have gone on a crusade against vaccines, especially seeing as he thought it was good enough for he and his family to take it. Even the Minister of Health took this particular vaccine. Yet, that's the one he chooses to attack to score cheap political points. But now that he got the reaction he wanted, it's right back to encouraging people to get the shot. This is just another example of why we need to keep politicians accountable for what they said. Because all you're gone dead if you take advice from them. Because if you ask me, letting politicians speak without consequence is like yelling fire in a crowded theater. It's pretty stupid. Hey Guyanese business people, are you looking for a great way to advertise your business? Search no more. Join one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Register your business on snap.gy and get access to more eyeballs. And wait for the best part, it's absolutely free. Get your business listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was, do you expect the government to do a better job with maintaining the city's drains, or do you think it'll be the same flood, different excuse? Guyana Sun said, I think national government should try doing their own jobs before taking someone else's. Roger Wilson said, "Honestly, the government needs to take the city out of the political arena. It's a PPP government in a up-new AFC city. The two need to show social cohesion and work together. The people's lives is at stake here, not the political party." Gillian Solomon said, "The government needs to stop cherry-picking their obligations and save all Guyanese. A unified government is much better than a decisive one. The entire drainage and irrigation system needs to be overhauled and upgraded throughout Guyana." I agree fully. And finally, DJ Wade said, "The Guyana government's track record speaks for itself. Mismanagement." So it all sounds like you all aren't really too optimistic towards this, but unfortunately I share the same feeling. So for tonight's question, if you could change one single thing about Guyana, what would it be? Now I just want one thing, not a whole list, people, just one thing. So think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out Tuesday for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.